Hey, Ray, can you put into words kind of what facing Demetrious is like? You hear a lot about him and how great he is. When you were in the cage with him, what is it like in actuality?
Um, he's good. He's where he's at for a reason, and sharing sharing the octagon with him was something I can definitely put in my back pocket to learn from. Obviously I wasn't on the receiving end of the win. Things didn't go the way I had planned them to. I got away from my game plan a little bit, but he's very knowledgeable, and that's something that he has that a lot of fighters don't.
How shocked were you by the throw and then the armbar? And can you talk us through, from your standpoint, what you recall of that move?
In the moment, I thought I was on the ground before. I thought he was just gonna throw me. I was gonna get ready to move and scramble. I thought I was on the ground before he hit that armbar. He hit the armbar, I guess, midair. It was sneaky. Like I said earlier, I laughed at him a couple times during the fight just because he pulled off some sneaky shit, and I just thought it was pretty cool myself. But it wasn't cool to be on the receiving end of it. But it is what it is.
Did you feel like you fought well? You said you had, a couple mistakes, but it seemed to me like, you raised your game a little bit from what you've been before, and that maybe most of the guys in the top 10 or top 5 you would beat tonight, except for him.
It was definitely not the performance that I wanted at all. And I don't mean that just because I didn't win. I mean because I didn't implement the things that my coaches wanted me to. I should have gone a different route, and I think if I would have went that route, it would have been a little bit better for me, and it would have, played into my favor. But, I'm 24 years old. What can I say? Fight for a world title against what you guys call the pound-for-pound greatest. So all I'm going to do is just learn.
Right here, Ray. Great fight, buddy. Sorry about the outcome. It was a great fight.
Thank you.
After the open workouts, you told us that you and your coaches had assessed some opportunities that you could exploit in Mighty Mouse's game. Now that the fight is over and done with, and you've been in there with him, can you reveal some of those things that y'all saw?
He is good, and I definitely feel like Demetrious is at the top and where he's at because of his knowledge and his ability to correct things in the fight mentally. And but we've seen some things on the feet where he doesn't bail very good. He's real chin high. He's been dropped more and more recently, and that's something we were going to try to capitalize on. But I shifted the fight a different direction and didn't stick to the game plan.
Okay, and last question. Again, at the open workouts, you displayed a lot of submissions from the back you were working on, and also you displayed some really great kicks, and you didn't really get a chance to implement any of that stuff. Is that what you mean when you say that you didn't work the game plan?
Yeah, my game plan was, to more or less go with the flow, but I definitely felt like I could have outboxed him, outstruck him, and in that department, I should have, just believed in my hands and just let him fly. But, unfortunately, age was not on my side tonight, and I just need to learn more.
Ray, you talk about learning more, and in watching the fight, it just seems sometimes like DJ is 2-3 steps ahead, and that's not to say anything bad of your skills, but DJ's obviously on this level where he's stringing things together. Can you just talk about dealing with his transitions and how difficult that was?
I felt like fighting DJ was fighting my future self, in a sense. I mean, if you guys look at all my fights, I'm always 2 steps ahead of people. I'm always 3 steps ahead of people. I'm always being sneaky with, submissions, and I truly felt like I just fought a future version of myself. He's had time in this game. He's had the ability to learn how to control himself in there, and it was a little bit of shock to me to be out scrambled and out positioned.
And last question I want to ask is, as you walked away from the cage, we saw you had tears in your eyes, and obviously in that moment it was tough dealing with the defeat. But in the time since then, have you sort of just grappled with where you're going to go from here and how you're going to build off of this?
A good buddy told me, like with crying after a loss and crying, they always say don't cry, keep your head up and things like that. and everybody made memes and talked shit about Daniel Cormier when he was crying on public television. But what you guys don't realize is what we go through to get to this point, what we sacrifice to get to this point. And when you want it so bad and you don't get it, it's heartbreaking. My buddy told me that if you don't cry after a loss, then you didn't want it as much as what you thought. So I just wanted it. I really did, and it just wasn't my night. It's not my time. Since then, the only thing I can tell myself is that I'm 24. I mean, look at DJ when he had his first crack at the title. Dominic beat him in like devastating fashion. Well, not devastating, but dominated him. He lost his first crack at a title. I'm 24, and I'm just gonna keep working, and I'm gonna get back there.
Ray, have you ever seen that kind of submission? Has anyone ever tried that on you before?
No, I don't even think it was really a submission. I think it's just, sometimes you can just make shit up. He just happened to suplex or, throw me, and then my arm was straight trying to brace myself, and he just saw an armbar.
Did you think for a second that you'd be able to get out?
I really did. I thought I was about to scramble out of it. He had good control of it. He was moving it real well. I felt like I was seconds from getting out of it and scrambling, and then I turned one way when I should have turned the other, and got stuck.
Now that you've actually fought him, was he better than you thought he would be?
Yeah, well, I mean, we always knew he was good, but it's one thing to be in there with him and just watching him. I've fucking watched Demetrious Johnson since I was like 13 years old. I mean, I know what he's capable of, and I know how good he is, but sometimes in the sport, just trying to skip steps, and we try to skip some steps tonight, and now we just gotta work our way back and keep moving forward.
Are you gonna stay at 125?
Yeah, why not? I mean, for anybody, all the UFC staff, I was there at 6:45 ready to weigh in at 124, just to show you guys that weight's not an issue. So yeah, I'm staying at 125.
Thank you.